If you're just getting started with kettlebells and you're wondering which exercises are the best, which give me a lot of return on investment, and which ones are most bang for your buck, then this video is for you. Grüezi miteinander, Gregory von Lebe stark here. Before we get started, I have a gift for you, a free 30-day kettlebell workout challenge. Check the first link in the description. Let's waste no time and jump straight into the 13 most powerful and best kettlebell exercises that you must do. Exercise number 1 is the farmer's walk. Hinge, straight back, grab both kettlebells, and now you start walking. Great exercise for posture. It is low tech and it gives you a lot of bang for your buck because it's like carrying around groceries, so there's a lot of skill transfer for everyday life. You can also do the farmer's walk with one kettlebell. In that case, we will call it a suitcase walk, and then the same rules apply. And if we want to up the challenge a little bit and make it more spicy, clean it up and start walking, and then press it up and start walking. Exercise number 2 is the snatch. This exercise is classified as a full body exercise, which science even shows. Dr. Stuart McGill mentioned in his kettlebell swing study, where he also examined the kettlebell snatch and the suitcase walk, that the snatch trains every fiber in your body. Shoulder width stance, hinge, kettlebell has a half a meter distance in front of me. Now I swing the belt between my leg and bring it overhead. And here's what I watch out for. When I drop the kettlebell, I turn the palm towards me, lean back a little bit. That way I can decrease the distance that the kettlebell has to travel because it sits closer to my center of mass. And when I want to bring it back up, I want to make sure that my arm stays extended. I don't bend it because we say once the elbow bends, the power ends. Exercise number 3 is the double hand swing. A swing with 2 hands, the most popular kettlebell exercise, and you've probably seen lots of variations and lots of demonstrations on social media as well as on YouTube. Here's how we do it. The kettlebell sits approximately half a meter distance in front of me. I hinge, grab the handle with both hands, and now I hip thrust the weight upwards. Make sure that my timing is proper. I wait for my arms to reconnect with my body before I hinge, and I want to focus on my hips. Exercise number 4 is the jerk. This exercise requires a lot more skill, a lot more technique, but it's so much fun once you have mastered it. Because from a coordination standpoint, you require from your body to bend certain joints and extend certain joints at the same time. Clean the bell up, insert your hand as deep as possible and as high as possible inside the window of the kettlebell. Bring the elbow close to your body. Now, hips are extended. So now I catapult the weight overhead with the power of my legs. And once the kettlebell is overhead, I drop into the second dip. So here you can see I have to extend my upper body or the limbs of my upper body and bend the limbs of my lower body at the same time. Exercise number 5 is the clean, a fundamental basic exercise of kettlebell training. Because in order to press the weights overhead, we have to achieve a solid rack position. So again, the kettlebell sits with a half a meter distance in front of me. Now I'm going to clean the bell up like this. Inserting my hand inside the window of the kettlebell, elbow close to the body. And when I drop it, like in a snatch, I turn the palm towards me, lean back a little bit, and let gravity do its thing. And when I bring the weight back up, I'm going to think about inertia. So it's not pulling the weight up like this, like you would in a row, but you use the hip thrust maneuver that you are already used to from the swing. Then inertia does its thing. The kettlebell floats up, and then you insert the hands inside the window of the kettlebell. Exercise number 6 is the reverse lunge. It requires stability and leg strength at the same time, and you also work on your balance. Clean the bell up. Grab it by the bell itself so that the handle points towards the floor. Now I take a step back and I imagine I'm standing on tracks. Touch down, come back up. Exercise number 7 is the goblet squat, or simply a squat with a kettlebell. Another basic exercise that you want to incorporate as much as you can. Interesting to note, when you squat with the kettlebell, the squat turns into a front squat. So the biomechanics change a little bit, which we're going to talk about right now. There are many squat variations with kettlebells, and we're going to check out some of them. Now, first of all, the goblet squat. Clean the bell up like in a reverse lunge, chest up. Now, here's the front squat. Push the knees out, chest stays as upright as possible, and from this position, I want to come back up. Notice how my upper body does not lean forward, but I want to keep it as straight as I can, pushing the knees out, go as far down as I can, and from this position, I come back up. Another variant is the back squat, so I can bring the kettlebell up, wrap it around my head, place it between my shoulder blades, and now I engage into a back squat. Watch my upper body and watch the difference. I'm pushing the hips back, now come back up, and now I'm able to work more muscle because the leverage is greater. I'm increasing the leverage point from my hips, so this means more muscle has to work, and my upper body has to lean forward in order for me to keep my balance and stability. Let's check out the final variant, the rack squat. Similar to a goblet squat, you bring the kettlebell up in a clean. We've talked about the exercise a couple of seconds ago. Now the same thing. And what happens right here is I have some element of rotation because now the kettlebell wants to drag me down on one side and I have to stay as stable as possible. On a side note, if you're having trouble with the goblet squat, extend your arms out like this. Watch. It's a little bit harder for your arms, but it makes it easier for your upper body to stay as upright as possible. Exercise number 8, the almighty Turkish Get Up. It requires kinesthetic literacy, skill, and strength, but it is an exercise worth doing because the idea is simple. We want to get down on our backs from a standing position and then come back up with weights overhead. And if you are above 50 and 60, being able to get down on your back from a standing position and back up is a marker of health. I like to start overhead, so let's snatch it up. And now, curtsy lunge. Open up the hips. Reach for the floor. Bring your rear leg to the front. Hips go down. Go down on your elbow. Distribute the weight between your right leg and your left elbow. Go down on your back. Bring the bell down. Relax. Press it back up. Shift the body weight towards your elbow. Come back up on your hands. Hips up. Bring your front leg in and rotate your hips. Now shift your body weight. Turn around and get ready to stand up. Exercise number 9 is the bench press. By some, it is considered a circus exercise. And while there is truth behind it, here's the thing. What this exercise teaches you is to understand the relationship between your back and your chest and your arms. Because you want to dynamically move away from the weight by contracting and keeping your lats in a static position and then moving down as far as you can so you can straighten the arm and then shift the load away from your shoulder to your bigger muscles in your upper body. It is an exercise that really shows whether you are an avid and practical kettlebell practitioner or whether you're just coming from the traditional gym or strongman or whatever have you background and you're now getting used to kettlebell training. Watch. Clean the weight up. Now both of your feet turn to the left side. Now you push your hips out and now you drop your elbows on your lats so you can feel the weight is pulling behind you downwards. Now you rotate your upper body and now I have tension in my lats and now my upper body goes as far down as I can. Now I can straighten the arm, shift the weight inside my center of mass, come back up, back down. This is a powerful exercise also for your rotator cuff muscles to make them as healthy and as strong as they can be. We're almost through with the list. Exercise number 10, the hand-to-hand swing. I think this is the exercise that bridges the gap between hardstyle and kettlebell sport. It is a hybrid exercise that makes so much fun. And if you understand how to maneuver the kettlebell in a hand-to-hand swing, you tap into its fullest potential. When you train with kettlebells, you're not just building your strength endurance, but also so-called hybrid or special endurance because we're using weights for long sets of time, but We can use weights up to 32 kg or even higher. So this goes beyond a regular understanding of strength endurance. And the hand-to-hand swing is the perfect bridge to get you started with this type of endurance. Hinge, kettlebell sits in front of me, grab it with one hand. Now I hip thrust the weight upwards, and on the way up, I'm switching hands. And I want to think about stabbing my feet into the floor. Think about this upward propulsion phase. The kettlebell doesn't travel forward, it travels upward. Exercise number 11 is the high pull, a powerful exercise that you can use as a drill to improve your snatch or as a standalone variant. The high pull is simple. Think about the hand-to-hand swing that I've showed you before this exercise. We want to use the same biomechanical fundamentals, but now the idea is I'm only using one hand, and once the kettlebell reaches its apex, approximately at chest level, I pull it up a little bit. Watch. Exercise number 12 is the double snatch, a beast of an exercise. I told you that the snatch trains your full body. Now, what do you think happens if you use two kettlebells at the same time? Exactly, you become a lean, mean machine. Now, with the double snatch, we're actually engaging into a double half snatch. Because once we reach the top fixation overhead, we don't drop it down immediately, but we go down back into the rack for safety reasons. Watch. And the final exercise, the clean and press, another powerful, fundamental exercise that you can use as a standalone training variation for a workout. 10 minutes, alternating clean and press. Here you go. If you would hold a gun to my head and tell me, Gregory, you can now only do one exercise for the rest of your life, this is it. We combine a clean with a press. Almost all basics of human movement, pull, push, carry, rotation, hinge, is in this powerful exercise. And we can add up the notch with this. And we're good to go. Here's the next thing that you have to do. Like the video, consider subscribing, share with a friend, and if you made it this far, consider joining the House of Stock and become a Lebe Stock member. Exclusive workouts, exclusive skill courses, exclusive material. The best kettlebell membership that you can imagine is here. We also call it the Netflix of kettlebells. And you can get started for only $1. Check it out right here.